Bonjour, bonjour, bienvenue sur la chaîne YouTube The French Formula. Je m'appelle Aurélie, my name is Aurélie et je suis professeure de français. If you are joining for the first time, this is the 16th day of this challenge. So all the month of October, I'm going live every day for a short lesson of French language and culture, about 15 minutes, not too long for me to have all your attention and give you enough information that are useful and practical. So all this week we are covering conjugation and tense. And yesterday we talked about passé composé. So if you need to study that or to review this tense that is the trickiest in the whole French language, probably beside the subjunctive, which is more like a mode. I'm not gonna bother you with those technical terms, but you know, if you are at advanced level, that passé composé and subjunctive are like, You need to review that. Check the video from yesterday, especially because I give you a lot of resources for you to practice. So today we are going to tackle another past tense, l'imparfait, the imperfect tense, right? If you want to make sure that you get a notification every time we post a new video, subscribe to the channel. Right now we are, let me go back. Here you go. Nous sommes mardi 18 octobre, et nous allons parler de l'imparfait. Let's talk about the imparfait. So this tense, like the passé composé, is used to talk about the past, but he has a complete different use than the passé composé. So the most important thing before knowing the conjugation is knowing when to use it, okay? Because they're not interchangeable. Le passé composé, eh bien, c'est pour la description dans le passé, when you describe something in the past, ou des habitudes dans le passé, on utilise l'imparfait, ok? Donc, par exemple, I put it in blue like that you have the color code for a description in the past. Hier, yesterday, il faisait beau. Il y avait, I forgot a E right here. Il y avait du soleil et je portais une petite robe légère. So I am describing in this sentence the weather as well as what I was wearing, okay? It is not an action, okay? The action, we talked about that yesterday, is for the passé composé. When we talk about now habits in the past, meaning that's something that you used to do and you're not doing anymore, not an action in the past, an habit in the past. So here's a perfect example of a situation. Quand j'étais enfant, when I was a child, so you talk about a time that is over, je faisais du piano. So in English, you will translate it as I used to play piano, meaning I am not doing it anymore. So those are the two main moments where you will use the imparfait. There's another one when we talk about simultaneity in the past and you will have a sentence with a mix of imparfait and passé composé, but I'm not going to cover that today because it's a little bit more advanced. Why the imperfect is so important right now? Because when you want to talk about a story, you want to talk about your weekend, your new vacation, you will of course focusing mostly on the action, what you have done, what did you visit. But you might have to describe how was the weather, how were the people, how was the food. All of that will be done in passé composé, description in the past. If you want to talk about your childhood, if you want to talk about the time you used to live in a certain city or a certain area, you will talk about your old habits, you will use the imparfait. So the imparfait is also very important in French. Let me show you how we conjugate a regular verb. For example, aimer. I used to love. I don't love anymore. So let's say j'aimais. Let me give you an example. J'aimais le café. I used to love coffee, but I don't anymore. Okay, so here we have the ending of the imparfait. So the imparfait is a simple tense. Simple tense meaning that there is just one element Compared to passé composé, remember, it's a compound verb. You have two elements, the auxiliary and the past participle. Here, simple tense, we will add its own ending to the verb. So we have here, for the ending, IS, IS, IT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. So, j'aimais, tu aimais, il, elle, on aimait, nous aimions, vous aimiez, ils, elles aimaient. Okay? Remember that here we do not pronounce this ENT at the end. We do write it, but we don't pronounce it. So this is how we conjugate the imparfait. We take the stem of it, like for the present tense, and we come and put the ending. Be careful because for the regular verb, it's not gonna be too much complicated, but for some verbs that are irregular, we'll have to use the base of the nous in present tense. So I'll just give you the conjugation of être and avoir because as you know, they are very important in French. J'étais, I was, or I used to be. Tu étais. Il était. You see, we have the same ending, but the stem is different. Nous étions. Vous étiez. Ils étaient. Okay, here we have a binding. Ils étaient. All right? Avoir. I used to have. Okay, so here will be j'avais. Tu avais. Il avait. Nous avions. Sounds like the plane, the avion, just that you put your S. Vous aviez. Et ils avaient. Okay? So there are very important tense in imparfait, but they have their own way of being conjugated. So we also have the verb faire, that is a very important one as well. I used to do, remember the verb faire is used for a lot of expression, a lot of activity that you do, right? So this one is also very important, especially if you talk about something that you used to do, like an activity, a sport, an instrument, cooking, walking, you know, all those expressions will use the verb faire. So we have je faisais, tu faisais, il faisait, nous. Alors here we have a tricky pronunciation. I will go back to that in a second. Nous faisions, vous faisiez, il faisait. Okay, so just as a quick tip for you to remember the base of the verb faire in imparfait, we actually use the stem of the nous in present tense. So when we have nous faisons in present tense, we actually are taking the stem of fais, and this is actually, let me, you see, I forgot the I. So this is the stem that we use for the verb faire. So nous faisons, we do or we are doing in present tense. We use the stem of fais and we come and add the ending of the imparfait, is, it, etc. As you notice here, there is a slight difference, so don't miss out. The I right here, nous faisions. So compared to nous faisons, nous faisions, that's a tricky difference. Vous faisiez et il faisait. So here, one thing about the pronunciation is that here we pronounce is as a E. A silent E, the symbol is this way. So nous faisons. We don't say nous faisions. Nous faisions. Vous faisiez, il faisait. So here there's a little irregularity in terms of sound. Sorry. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Here you go. So yeah, but it's a E sound. Okay, je faisais, il faisait, nous faisions, vous faisiez, il faisait. Remember, so the conjugation is something that you have to practice, that takes time, but I think the most important thing here you have to remember is the use of imparfait, not to confuse with the passé composé. So description in the past as well as habits in the past. I would love to know, maybe in the comment below you can write a sentence of something that you used to do when you were a child or teenager, or just something that you used to do a few while back and you're not doing it anymore. Make a sentence in the comment below to practice your imparfait. If you want to see all the resources that we have available, you can check out thefrenchformula.com. You will find a lot of podcast episode or video content that will help you practice your French. Tomorrow we are going to continue with our conjugation. We are going to change the time frame and we're going to talk about the future, what is going to happen. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. You have a chance to win 3 months of the premium membership. This is a library of video content as well as weekly email, a community of French learners, and any feedback from me during our live class and also by email or any social media. So please enter this giveaway. It will be so good to have you inside the member area for the next 3 months. The winner will be announced at the end of October, at the end of this challenge. You can also like this video to make sure that other French learners are discovering our channel. And I will see you tomorrow at the same time, 1 p.m. to talk about le futur simple.